This video is one of my favorite. How do you make your kids millionaires? I did mine on paper by the age of 10 because I'm doing legacy planning. Stay tuned, you're gonna love this. So in this video, I'm gonna talk about three specific things. I'm gonna talk about when do you start? I'm gonna answer that soon. I'm so excited I could tell you everything right now. The second thing are the three mandatory things. These are required foundational structures, and then just about entrepreneurial ventures in general and how that is a pivotal part of making your kids millionaires. So let's begin. So number one, when do you start? Well, before they're born, I can tell you that. You say, well, they're not born yet. How do I start? I have so many of my clients that in the 9 months, you got 9 months to plan this, they start thinking about what are their kids gonna do? Right? And I have them brainstorm lists of things that they would want their kids to do. And usually it's along the lines of things, that's legacy, things that they're doing. I know, I thought, oh my gosh, my kids are going to take over this company and they're going to keep doing it and they're going to love it because we're going to travel around the world. They're going to see how exciting it is. Wrong. My son loves the financial services side of the house, not the teaching side of the house. So just kind of watch, but have fun with it, right? Before they're born in the 9 months. But the big one, getting ready for it, now we're going to tell you the three mandatory. The minute they come out and join the planet, a live little human, you employ them. And you say, well, what's a baby going to do? They're going to be an amazing model. So you're going to take pictures of them. A lot of our clients will have beautiful company calendars. Now, little caveat, this is assuming you're an entrepreneur and you have a business that you can employ these kids. If you don't, well, you need one. There isn't a way to do this strategy by being an employee, because you can be an employee, but you do need to have a company because that's where this kid's going to work. Right? They can't work in your employment job. They got to work for a company. So during the 9 months, I'll go back one step. Yes, you have to be set up. So I'm assuming you were all entrepreneurs. So I'll change that assumption for you. So you're going to think, well, what is this kid going to do? Well, between 0 and 7, there's some tasks that they can do, but being a model is one. So I don't care if you're a dog walking company, you can actually put your beautiful child up and say dog friendly dog walking company. You can use your kids. I use mine for financial literacy for kids. I have people, that are using their kids for stock trading and how they're going to buy, kid oriented stocks. Believe me, we will get creative with you. So you're going to employ your kid, and then you're going to get them, because they're employed, a Roth IRA. Set that up from the beginning and load it up. If you can load it up to 6,000 right away, or just do 500 a month, right? 6,000 is the max you can put in anyway. And then you say, well, what do I do with that money? Because it's such a small amount. Get an iFlip app. At the end, I will give you a link to get a free app on me for your kids that is going to be owned inside your Roth. So number one, get them employed, get a Roth, get a flip account. So all that money can just start making money. If you did that from 0 to 20, you have that kid and only invested at 10%. That kid is well into a half millionaire before they're 20 walking out the door. So that's the easy part of the game. Now let's get to the fun one, and the one that you're going to have probably the most joy is entrepreneurial ventures. You want them as soon as you can to get them into business. Right? Little lemonade stand stuff. I remember my daughter made these little paper wallets of some of our shows. And you got to know, I took my kids all over the world. They were in my audiences. I mean, they didn't really have a choice. So she made these little paper wallets. She would walk around and sell them for, $1, $2. When she got a little older, she bought a 3D printer. Right. Well, actually, I was her bank and she borrowed the money, and then she made all sorts of little key rings, and she still does some of that because it's such a cool thing. My son did smoothie businesses. They both tutor, fast forward, they're 14 and 21 right now. They both tutor, super smart, can get tutoring money. My son did ski instruction. He'd shovel snow for our neighbors. What else would he do? That's kind of funny. He loved washing dishes. That was kind of odd. So yeah, he would wash dishes for neighbors for $20. He would clean their cars. My daughters, we have neighbors, she'll go get chickens. We're talking about just fast, easy ways that they're constantly making money. So part of your money conversation around the kitchen table is, what are you going to do to make money? And I have a whole bunch of, systems and structures for, do they get to keep all the money? The answer is no. Put 50% away. They can contribute to that Roth, right? If you don't have extra money, they can contribute. If you want to pick a family charity or they want to pick a charity, they can also give some back. And then that's how they earn some of their spending money. So they don't get to keep it all. You got to put some away for later and get that compounding power of money. That's how you're going to work on the Millionaire. But I can tell you, during their lifetime, right, that 10, 15, 20 years, 18 years, really before they're a legal adult, that you have time to really mold them, is getting that entrepreneurial spirit in them. Maybe they and their friends, want to do something together, but you want to be the one, as the parent, you have to inspire that entrepreneurial creativity. What do they want to do? How can they do it? Kyle, who I'm writing my Make Your Kids Millionaires book with, he would have his boys go out to like their orchard, and for every acorn pit, he would pay him like 5 cents or something, or 10 cents. And then the older brother got the younger brother to work for him and took the spread and taught him how to get employees to work for you. So you just want to have a lot of fun in the entrepreneurial venture world with them. Always keep them employed, fill up their Roth every year, use Flip, and as they get older, if they want to do real estate, involve them in some of your real estate transactions. So yes, I'm speaking to parents who are already living in this lifestyle, to include them deeply, bring them along, and you'll be shocked how fast these kids are going to be conditioned to be millionaires. Now let's talk about that 18 mark. They're going to become a legal adult. So when my kids were born, I kind of, very mentally identified companies that they're going to become my partner. When Logan turned 18, he got an LLC. He became my partner in real estate. That company is how we do a lot of his extra college expenses. They're not college costs. They're actually business deductions, because of the way that I'm going to teach you parents how to make your kids millionaires and how to put it inside the structure of your generational wealth in your life. Super excited to share this. So what I want you to do while you're thinking about these fun entrepreneurial ventures, just go comment below. Like type in some different ideas. Maybe what are you already having your kids do? What are the things that they want that you no longer going to pay all of, that they need to start making some money? I have a half rule. If it's stuff that's up and above what I think they need and they want, they can earn half of it. So then you got to get creative with them. So let's go to this next topic called Never Pay Your Kids an Allowance. And it's really important during all of these, from when you start to the 3 core infrastructure to being entrepreneurial with your kids, is never, ever, ever you as the adult pay them a flat allowance. Because what that's like is getting a fixed paycheck. Right? So they may work 1 week, they may not work 1 week. They may work another week, they may not. But you are making the mistake by paying them a consistent $5, $10, and $20 and just making it easy. Let's not do that. I have a whole system called Never Pay Your Kids an Allowance. And what you do is you actually have a piece of paper, and together you brainstorm a list of tasks. And the tasks could range from, like mine, I'll just use what I did with Logan, from washing dishes, taking out trash. Now, mind you, there's just stuff they have to do because they live in the house, so that has to be agreed upon. This is extra stuff that you would hire someone else to do. So as he got older, he'd clean cars, or he'd go, take him and wash the cars, shovel snow, rake our property, which was enormous. So we just made a list of tasks, and then it gets fun. Then you start negotiating. Well, what are each task worth? Now you have this amazing thing called the internet. It wasn't quite as robust back in the day when Logan was younger, 20 years ago, but you negotiate. Like, is taking the trash out worth as much as cleaning out a car or shoveling snow or whatever they're going to be doing? So it's household tasks, it's tasks that you're going to be paying them for, because you will be their source of money. But it also could be your neighbors. Like, think of what other neighbors could do. And then you got to negotiate and help them come up with some prices. So instead of paying an allowance, you let them earn what they want. So there's no fix. If they want to really work on extra tasks for a week or a weekend, they actually can earn their check per month. So you start teaching not only entrepreneurial ventures, but then things around the house that you need support with, you'd pay for them already to be done, and they can come up with their own amount. It doesn't have to be consistent. Entrepreneurs don't make the exact amount every month. So maybe over the summer months, they want to make $500 to $1,000. And then during the school year, if they have sports and other activities, maybe they're only going to make $100 a month. But really start guiding that activity. But notice that tasks and money are very different, and they're not all the same. And it just starts really breeding that entrepreneurial thinking inside your kids. It'll be shocking, the conversations that you will have when you go out to restaurants or other stores, when they start seeing how products and services are bought and sold. You're onto it, and you're doing the right things for you and your family. And again, once that money comes in, you make up your rules. Mine are 50% goes to long-term investments or other activities like university or starting a business at 18 or older. Percent can go to whatever charity of choice, churches, whatever you want to do that. And then the 40%, 45% left, That's up to the kids. You can do some short-term and long-term buckets for the kids. And I literally open bank accounts. I have them walk in, I have them do the deposits so they really get used to it. I know we're in the age of all this digital work, but there is something very kinesthetic about them having to balance their own statements, balance their debit cards against their receipts, and really understanding money at a young age. So a few things around the sides. And I have a book coming out April 2022. It's during Financial Literacy Month, Make Your Kids Millionaires. So stay tuned for it. But a few things between now and then that you do need to pay attention. As they get older, 14 and older is actually the legal age. You need to really watch the money that they're making. Do your best to not have to do a tax return on your child too early. But if they're making a lot of money, you are going to have to file taxes. So just stay in touch with us. Comment below. My kid's a superstar. And you know what, parents? Your kids might have a better venture than what you're doing, and all family, and I've had a lot of kids millionaires made that way, where the mom or the dad just goes all in and partners with their child about their idea, and they make millions, and they actually become millionaire kids in and of their own right, because of the business. But really watch that tax strategy. Not encouraging you, and actually by law, you have to be the owner of the entity if you do it. The kid's name can be in the custodian account. If you go to proper banks, they'll allow that, but you really are the legal owner until they're 18 years. And then there are structures that we will do, that I did with my son and will do with my daughter as she gets older, to put them as partners of that company. Lots of reasons to do that. Another video, another time, on how to put them through college that way. So a lot to learn, a lot to do. Have fun would be my highest advice. Have fun with your kids. If they hate it, do not push it. Come up with some new ideas, come up with fun ideas. If your kids like to cook. I remember, I know another one was kind of fun. My daughter liked all that slime. She still has a bunch of slime she sells. I don't know what website she puts it on. She does all that now. She's 14, she can figure it out. On the other side, are you helicopter parents? I do have to mention that. You got to get away from them. You got to let them kind of bump around a little bit. We're not talking about a lot of money. Those little lessons, not failures, those little lessons are going to serve them well as an adult. All right, so I have an amazing gift for you. I have 21 ways to create wealth. You can brainstorm this with your child. So anyone over 7 can understand this. By the way, I also have my Millionaire Maker game. You should play Monopoly. Like, all of that activity should be in your household. But I want you to click on the link, print out the report. It's 21 ways to wealth, and just start that conversation with your kids at home. See how interested they are. I know a lot of parents, you'll say, my kid's not interested, because you haven't made it fun and funny, and they don't have an association because you probably just pay for everything. You start taking that away, they're going to start getting motivated for the things they want. There's a way to always motivate a kid. Take care.